All right, we are talking with Redd FaFilth tonight. She is going to give us a little bit about her process, her work, what she's been doing, and how the pandemic has affected everything. So, Redd, how you doing?
Eh, as Heidi says, what is it? Fully blessed and highly favored, or something like that. I don't know.
Fantastic. So, kind of just tell us a little bit about your work and your performing, and kind of what got you into the whole drag performance and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm a drag queen. I guess if you want to be extremely specific, I'm called an AFAB queen / a bio queen. Basically, what it means is that I was born with a vagina. So they feel like they have to put us in a specific box for some reason. I don't fully get it, but it's whatever. Not bitter. Um, but yeah, what like I've always loved drag. It's always been in my blood. I mean, Elvira is like my number one person of all time, and she always says that Elvira is her drag character, so I've kind of identified with that. And just yeah, I mean, I grew up with RuPaul basically in my veins, basically. So it's just kind of been something that I've always done, and I used to kind of be a little bit of like a chicken shit about it, and so I just decided to do cosplaying, and I thought that was kind of going to be my shtick. But then after a while, I realized that just cosplaying wasn't fulfilling me enough, and also I was a little over the community a little bit. So I moved over. I like basically my friend Azula, she painted me for the first time to where I could see what I actually looked like in the makeup, and it shocked me because I always figured that I would have to be one of those drag queens that like paints like just to be pretty or whatever, and that isn't really my thing because I feel like I can do that every day. Like I wear makeup in my daily life, so what's like the point? Like how would I be able to call that my drag character? But when my friend Azula put on like full like drag makeup on me, I was like, holy shit, I can carry it. So then basically after that, it's just been like an infection, like it just won't go away. A good infection, one that I like. So I don't know anyone who likes any infections, but I guess I'm just weird.
Yeah, especially right now, all the time.
Yeah, probably a bad analogy. Whoops.
Going around, it's fine.
I said infection. I didn't say virus. So
there you go. That's very true. Yeah. You're born yet. You're good to go. So how is the community like? You know, so you are from LA, but like originally, but you've moved to the Central Valley in California, and you've been doing your drag performances and stuff throughout up and down the valley. How has that been different than I guess how it would have been if you had done it in LA, do you think?
I don't know. It would be like a toss-up. Part of me feels like I may be booked more if I was in LA, but at the same time, it's like, is that true? Because there are so many performers in LA that are just begging for that spot. And as much as I am confident in my craft, I'm also not the type of person to step on toes or to like shove my art down your throat. Like like how I feel about my art is if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, then you fucking don't. And I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you to like it or not. And unfortunately, that's kind of the thing that you have to do to get gigs, which is something I'm really bad at. But luckily, with living in the Central Valley and like making close connections with them, because even before I was doing drag, I was a fan. I would go out to every show I possibly could. So the performers got to know me as like my normal self. And then when I showed up in drag, they didn't realize I was the same person, which I love. But they started making that connection, and, you know, people who I really looked up to had faith in me and started giving me gigs and stuff like that. And what really kind of sent it over the edge, I guess, was when my drag mother, Cara Coronado, kind of like dubbed me into her drag family or whatever. And that kind of, because I always felt like, oh, I'm working so hard, why aren't people noticing? And that would be the same thing in LA, except I'd probably lose my fucking mind because no one would notice. But at least like after having someone who is very well known in the community and also who is just an amazing talent overall, kind of giving me that stamp of approval, even though I didn't necessarily need it, it did definitely help. And I definitely am. So she knows that I am just the most grateful to her throughout everything. And it's also just really nice having that rapport with someone to confide in, because even though I am very much like, I like doing everything myself, you know, in this type of industry, you kind of have to communicate with others and make connections and stuff like that. And she helps me with that because I'm just a full-on like introvert. I don't like talking to people because I feel like every time I do, I say something stupid. Like this whole entire interview is probably going to be. So.
So like the confidence was kind of like beginning like with your, like you had a family here that kind of like set you out and helped you get into the community. And then, so since that community is basically confined and your performance has like ceased because of the shelter in place and everything like that, what have you been doing in the meantime to kind of continue your practice and stuff like that?
Working on a lot of stuff that hopefully I can do whenever we get the hell out of here or whatever. And then also doing my own live shows every Thursday around 7 or 8 o'clock, depending on how long the numbers are going to be. And the thing that, because originally what I really wanted to do is what everyone else was doing, was join in on everyone's Facebook lives, and that's how you kind of get your name out there. Is you usually get on like a bigger it would be kind of like a club, you know, throwing a show. Like obviously people go to the club and that's how you get your name out there, but it would be for Instagram, like we would do the live or whatever. But I have an old phone that's probably meant for like a construction working dad, so I can't do that. So instead of basically wanting to kill myself and not do drag for however many months, I decided that I just might as well do my own shows. And even if no one watches, at least I'm doing something. But luckily people have been watching, so thank God for that.
Yeah, it seems like each week you do them, you get a little bit more people like sitting down and actually watching them for the whole like length of the duration of the thing. So, I mean, it seems to be working.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised by that, but it's cool.
I mean, I find it super interesting because a lot of people during this time have kind of just shut down and have accepted the fact that they can't go out and do things, and finding like the way different people are doing and continuing their craft from home, the way they're like showing it off to other people. Like, I mean, you come out in like 3 to 5, 6 different outfits like within an hour of these things, and like you come on and you hop on and you just kind of do like you wouldn't any normal show. It's like a genuine practice, you know, for like the big time type thing, but like your practice is actually your show. And I don't know, it seems like a blast, and each week it just gets better and better. The props you come up with are hilarious, and yeah, it's just,
what can I say?
it's been a lot of fun watching you, like I guess like from home, because I know I didn't get to make a lot of your shows.
Yeah, Mr. Never has made it to one of my live shows ever.
I did make it to the Pride one. I just didn't make it to the end of the whole show. So, but yeah, so yeah, it's nice to see that I can like see you once a week in the comfort of my home, and just kind of see the things you come up with. Has been real fun.
Yeah, it's honestly been like, at first I thought it was going to be really limiting, which to a certain degree it is. Like, you know, I can't like do shablams and stuff like that because I got carpet. That's going to be way too much pain. So that part is a little restricting, and it is really weird, like not interacting with people, because that is definitely something that I like feed off of, is the crowd. But I think that doing this also is kind of giving me that practice to where, like, because there have been numbers that I've done like in real life before all this happened, where no one was living for my number. Like I was up there like giving it my all, and everyone was just like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? And I can see, like, because I try to record all my numbers, so I can see myself like shutting down when I was doing that number. And I'm hoping that maybe doing this, because I can't like see y'all's faces when I perform, I'm hoping that maybe that'll break me out of that too, to where I don't feel so reliant on the audience, to where I can, even after a number where no one likes it, everyone, even if they're booing me off the stage, I can get off that stage and be like, I did that.
Yeah, it's kind of like building a self-confidence in your own routines instead of doing them Friday. Like, I mean, because honestly, how many times do you perform a routine before you like perform it live? Like, how many times do you practice? Is it like,
I mean, it depends number per number. Like, it depends on how insane the number is. I try not to practice, because I used to practice it like over and over and over again, like until like literally all the dance moves were memorized in my head and all this stuff. But I realized that when I do that, you can like see on my face that I'm like doing like 1, 2, 3, whatever. So like I learned that like for the special stuff, like if I'm gonna like do a wig reveal or pull out a random prop or something, like I have to rehearse that bit of it, but I don't want to rehearse it too much to where everyone's like, okay, why is this robot like dancing up on the stage? Like I want it to still convey like emotion and also be fun. Like that's like the main point of my drag is even when I do like a serious number, I usually try to throw a joke in there because everyone likes to laugh at least a little bit. So
yeah, I would say that your numbers always contain some type of humor, which is always fun and nice, especially like with the songs choices you got, which are also great. Yeah, like I said, it's just been fun to watch and to see the progression of like the things as they, I guess, are happening right now from week to week. It's I feel like it's almost like a really good time to build a really good fan base because you have people that are just gonna continue to watch you, and then like I don't get to see this every week anymore. So now whenever they want to, they're gonna want to go out and see you. So like maybe it helps a little bit with that. I don't actually know.
it would if Facebook would stop butt fucking me with copyright, but and I didn't even get permission.
Have you tried different services or anything like that, or you've been sticking to because of the free and easy to use type thing, or?
I've been trying to figure out Twitch because everyone's been saying that is like more lenient.
Yeah.
But I have no freaking clue how to use it. I downloaded the OB whatever thing so that you can use Twitch, and I've literally looked up every single tutorial I could try to find, and all of them are for streamers who want to play games, which is cool. Like I've thought about doing that, but like that's not my main shtick. Like unless you guys want to watch me like play the same game over and over and over again. Like I don't own very many games.
Yeah. I've there's been a few different ones that I've been using since all this has started. I think the one that Sinister Creature Con is using is they're doing StreamYard, which you can record and have chats, and you can post the link to Facebook, and it'll play the video through your link. So it's kind of a different thing. I don't really like it, but Jimmy and Brian swear by it. So
You have to pay for it?
no, I don't think you do. Actually, I think it's a free service too. But you can only have, well, I guess, I mean, being that you're just recording your performance, it'd be fine. But I think you can only have like 6 people on a stream at one time, like when they're talking. Like you can have as many people looking at the link, I guess, as possible. But yeah, I'll talk to you more about it after the whole thing. But yeah. Have you found difficulty trying to find out how to do all these things, kind of like on the spot and learning as you go? Like, have you found it easy? Has it been pretty hard, or?
It's been really difficult because this has for sure made me realize how, like, as much, like, I always known that I'm a little, like, antiquated with my stuff, but, like, it made me realize, like, holy shit, like, you kind of need a modern phone. You kind of need a ring light. You kind of need all this stuff. And I see other performers with, like, their projectors and, like, light changes and all this shit. And I'm like, y'all are even lucky that, like, I'm dressed. Like, I applaud them, and I'm really happy for them that they can do all that production, but I'm like, girl, like, I only have so much money and it's dwindling with all this coronavirus crap, so.
Yeah. So has it affected you, like, your job, basically? I mean, shut down? Yeah. So.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not getting any income at all right now, other than the generosity of tips from doing these gigs. That's literally it, because my job closed down because it's not an essential need. And then obviously my other job, which is doing drag, can't do that because bars are closed. So
interesting. So yeah. Well, keep doing what you're doing because it's amazing and it's fun. And I hope people keep tipping you, and that helps you continue to contribute to your creativity. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like like I said, you performing every week. I've seen a few different people do different things, but like the way you set up your things, and like it's probably one of the more unique ways that people are continuing to, I guess, show their work. So yeah, I just really enjoy it.
thank you.
And I'm gonna stop.